And today it has come, guys, right now. Nether update 1.16, guys. Minecraft Bedrock edition. Changelog right now. Hey there, guys. Skippy here from Skippy 6 Gaming. Guys, coming to you with what is going to be so awesome, the awesome Nether update 1.16. It is now out on all versions, guys. It's coming out. If it's not at you yet, it's coming very soon. And today we are going to go over the changelog together. Guys, how awesome is this? Let's go for 1,974 likes. 1974 likes for the win. Guys, we are going to go and do this. Guys, consider subscribing if you love Minecraft, Bedrock, Nether update. Guys, if you love it, subscribe, notifications on. And today, guys, we are going to do it a little bit different than our usual changelogs videos. This changelog is massive. It's huge. So we are going to actually break down the changelog into individual parts and actually go over one by one each part. Instead of just reading it all and then going, we're going to do bang, this topic, go over it. Look at the changelog, go over it in game, go over it in game, changelog, go over it in game. Just like that through the thing. Right here on the screen, you're going to see an actual timeline that will show you what the topic is and what time in the video it starts, where we're going to discuss it and show the gameplay of it. In addition to that, you'll notice there is also some additional notches on the timeline. Those are timeline marks where you can go one by one through the topics should you want to skip. Topics of conversation today are biomes, brand new biomes, new blocks, new mobs, new structures, new item, netherite and all that it entails, parity changes, village changes, gameplay changes, general changes, block changes, graphics and user changes, scripting changes, and command changes. That's right, guys. You can see on the screen if you want to skip or if you want to come back later and look at a certain thing. It's all up to you. We're going to go in each one right now, one by one. We're going to go through the changelog, show the gameplay, changelog, gameplay. Let's do biomes right now. Okay, so for the biomes, this is going to be the one that we actually do just slightly a little bit different. I'm actually going to break it down. So here's the whole changelog. If you want to pause and read it, you can go right ahead. It's up to you. Again, there is a full complete changelog in the description below if you just want to go read it yourself. But for this one here, we're going to break it down to pieces and start with Nether biome fog. This Nether biome fog is now complete across the Nether. It was a little bit, gradient, I guess, when the first beta started, but then it started getting a little better, and you can see it kind of smoothly goes between the biomes. Each biome has kind of its own fog, and yeah, so let's start with the forest, guys. The first forest is the warped forest. Warped forests are found in the Nether. Warped nylium carpets on the forest floor, along with all kinds of strange new vegetation. Huge warped fungi make up the trees of this forest, with shroomlights lighting up the fungi canopies. Warped wart blocks can be cleared quickly using a hoe. A dark blue fog covers the forest. Warp spores swirl through the air, kind of like the fog. And the warp forests are strange, but also least hostile place of the Nether. So basically, this is, it's basically the most peaceful place in the Nether. It's kind of straightforward. It has kind of a bluer tilt to it, and we're going to get striders and endermen in this location. And bastions can also spawn in the warped forest. So we can actually just go straight over to looking at the music that plays here. Is going to be Cryosapio by Lena Rain. So let's jump over to the other version of this forest, which is the Crimson Forest. So Crimson Forest can now be found in the Nether. Crimson nylium carpets, the forest floor, along with all kinds of strange new vegetation. Huge crimson fungi make up the trees of this forest, with shroomlights lighting up the forest canopies. Weeping vines grow from the cave ceilings and huge fungi canopies. Hoglins, piglins, and zombified piglins wanders these forests. Those are the new mobs, guys. Crimson spores swirl through the air. So that's good, guys. Basically the red version of the warp forest, but it's called crimson. And we can look, so it's a dense forest. It can have all kinds of nether warp blocks, fungi, weeping vines, things like that. Basically kind of, the scary version of the warp forest. It's going to have piglins, zombified piglins, striders, and hoglins can spawn here. In addition, bastion remnants can spawn here, and it plays the same exact music as the warp forest. Chrysopia by Lena Rain. So let's go down. We have our third input here, Soul Sand Valley, guys. Soul Sand Valley. Soul Sand Valleys can be found in the Nether, an open space made mostly of soul sand and soul soil. Basalt pillars span from floor to ceiling. Ash falls through the air. A light blue glow envelops the valley. Beware of skeletons here. So Soul Sand Valley, pretty straightforward stuff. It's a grotto of uncovered nether fossils. Basalt, blue fog, soulfire is kind of the big thing here. You're going to be able to spawn gas, skeletons, and striders. So you're going to see a lot of skellies here. Of course, nether fortresses and bastion remnants can spawn here. This area here will play the music called So Below by Lena Rain as well. Let's go off to the very last one here, the almost last one. There's kind of a secret last one. Basalt deltas, guys. Basalt deltas can now be found in the Nether. Remnants of volcanic eruptions. This biome sports a high concentration of basalt columns and lava deltas. Walking through, you will be surrounded by flakes of snow, white ash. Magma cubes finally have a place to call home, spawning very frequently. New block blackstone can be found in large patches here. Twisting vines and fungi now grow from the cave floor. So very interesting. Let's go over here and we could take a look at this. It's like a kind of like a volcano left its thing. You're gonna have blackstone in this area too. It's a whole new block. I'm gonna go over. It's gonna get its own little area. Blackstone is in this area. Let's keep going. There's gonna be particles, magma cubes, and striders will spawn here. Nether fortresses can also spawn here. And So Below by Lena Rain will play in this. And yeah, and last but not least, guys, Nether Wastes, a wasteland of bare netherrack and ores. Long story short is, guys, Nether Wastes is literally the old Nether. The plain Nether, wherever one of these things is not, that's a Nether Waste. In those areas, piglins, zombified piglins, striders can spawn, and Rubido by Lena Rain will play in the background. Let's jump in to the new blocks right now. And okay, so here we are. We are going to go over all of the new blocks in the game. We have a showcase set up for you. So what we're going to do is read the changelog. It's right here right now just for blocks, and then we're going to go over it together right now. So blocks, many new blocks have been added to new non-flammable wood-like materials, crimson stems, and warp stems. Basalt blocks, you can find them in pillars, but they can be placed in any direction. In addition to that, we're going to keep going. New ground surface blocks, crimson nylium and warped nylium. New vegetation, nether sprouts, crimson roots, and warped roots. Two types of fungi, crimson and warped. Try using bone meal to grow them. Warped wart blocks. Weeping vines can grow from the bottom of a block downwards. Weeping vines are climbable. A new natural light source. Shroom blocks added soul soil. Whenever fire burns on soul soil, it burns with a blue flame. Soul soil can now be used to craft torches, soul torches, and those can be crafted into soul lanterns. The wither can now be summoned using soul soil as a base. Using bone meal on netherrack can spread nylium. Warped and crimson root fungi can be put into pots. Nether gold ore can be mined in with a pickaxe and drop gold nuggets. Crying obsidian blocks, guys. In addition to that, chain blocks. I added that at the last minute because both of those are going to be discussed when we go over the new structures in the Nether update. So, target block, let's face it, your aim could use some practice. The closer you hit to the center, the larger the redstone signal. You would need 1 hay block and 4 redstone for this recipe. A lodestone, guys, crafted from a netherite ingot and chiseled stone bricks. Use a compass on a lodestone to create a lodestone compass pointing to the lodestone. Basically, a map finds your way home. Respawn anchor. Added the respawn anchor so that you can set your respawn point in the Nether. Use while holding. Glowstone to charge it, a maximum of 4 charges. Each respawn depletes 1 charge. You can charge the respawn anchor using a dispenser. Netherite, guys, it's a new high-level material found in the Nether. Use it to upgrade your gear. We're going to give Netherite its own whole section, so let's stay tuned for that, guys. Blackstone is the only stone whose color is almost as dark as the humor of Mojang's former writer and friend Tom Stone. Added a new set of stone blocks with regular, polished, and polished brick variants. Added gilded blackstone. Blackstone, which has been imbued with gold and has a chance of dropping gold nuggets when broken. You can find these in bastions, which are a new structure. Blackstone can be used to craft furnaces. Blackstone can be used to craft stone tools. So they're going to look regular. They're not going to look black. Let's go into it. So guys, we have it all set up pretty here. I have it on peaceful because gas are pretty noisy. And we're going to start off with this guy here. This is going to be the warped and crimson fungi. That's right, warped and crimson fungi. It's very simple. It's basically like wood. When you grow a fungi, you're going to see like these trees. Basically, they're trees, and the stem of the tree is like the wood, and the leaves are like the hyphae. You can strip the wood just right there. We can do all 4 sides stripped, planks, and then all the items you make out of wood. Guys, item frame or trapdoors, pressure plates, buttons, fence gates, half slabs, and stairs. Anything you make out of wood, you can make with it. Unfortunately, you can't make boats. That's a whole thing. Guys, basalt blocks, as you can see right here. They're cool. They come from one of the new biomes, and yeah, you can place them in any direction, unlike some other things. And you can see we got polished basalt and basalt. So, nylium, that's basically the 2 grounds, guys. Warped nylium, crimson nylium. These are basically the simple way to look at it, guys. Crimson is the red one. Warped is the blue one. In addition, we're going to have the different types of fungi, warped and crimson fungi. Of course, we're always going to have roots, sprouts, and roots. So basically, roots and sprouts. Guys, found in the nether. Like I said, we got our tree right here, feeling good. Up the tree, this is going to show you the next block here is the shroom light. Shroom light is here. It comes naturally in these crimson trees. It's another source of light in the nether. In addition to that, we have weeping vines. Weeping vines will grow only from the top down, and in addition, they're going to be beautiful because you can climb up them. How awesome is that? Very simple. Let's keep going. So, warped fungi blocks right here. Looking good, feeling good. Let's keep going. You can actually grow these guys right here. So let's do this. I wonder if I even have... let's do this right here. Bang. So you have to grow them on the same color. So if you want to grow it on the blue or on the warped, you have to use the warped. You want to grow the crimson, you have to grow the crimson there. So let's do this right here. Put this guy here. Let's go down here. Look how good I am without even looking. We could do this guy right here. Bang. You can grab some bone meal and you can grow your tree. And there you go. How easy is that? Simple place. These shroom lights will then occur in those trees as well, causing some love. Guys, soul sand, soul fire, soul soil, these are all kind of the new things that come in the new update. Basically, they create blue fire. Yeah, blue fire. So when you make all of these items out of anything soul soil, and you'll have blue torches. The blue torches will then be used to make the lantern, and you can make a soul fire campfire as well. Any fire that burns on soul soil in the nether, or anywhere for that matter, will come out blue and look blue. In addition, you can make wither skeletons with this stuff as well. So guys, right here, if you want to use some bone meal, you can spread nylium on the floor. However, you have to be right next to it. So right here, you notice nothing happens, but if you're right next to it using bone meal, you can spread it on the floor. In addition, if you spam it enough, it will grow some of those natural nether ingredients. Let's go, gold ore. Very simple, very simple. Yeah, it's gonna spawn in the nether. You can mine it with any pickaxe. That's right. Look, I put this right here. Mine it with any pickaxe, and yeah, it'll get you gold nuggets in the nether. Nice and simple, guys. These 2 blocks here, I wasn't even gonna put them in this because some blocks are missing, because they're gonna get their own section. So crying obsidian and chain blocks are 2 new blocks that have been added to the game. They are also parts of the porthole remnants and the bastions. So you're going to be seeing a little bit more of these in the later on in the video. A target block, guys. This is kind of a fun one. Doesn't have to do with the nether, but hopefully on the other side we're going to grab a bow. This is going to work with any projectile. So snowballs, tridents, whatever. Basically, when you shoot the arrow, it will go however far you go closer to the center. So when you're not really close to the center and you're kind of missing, you know, when you're like a horrible shot like this, or even a more horrible shot like this, doesn't go far. But if you hit that joint right in the middle, wow! So target block, lots of uses, pretty straightforward. So in addition, we have our lodestone here. So lodestone, you're gonna see basically we have this guy right here. Let's go like this. Let's actually we're gonna have to turn on our hand. Let's go ahead and turn on our hand. I was trying to do this all professional like, but let's turn on our hand. You're gonna see basically all you have to do is, let's grab a regular, bang, grab a regular compass, and then yeah, you touch the lodestone, woo, and it turns to a lodestone compass. This will, as you can see, direct you to the lodestone. See what I'm saying? Whoa, it's over there. It's over there. It's over there. Yeah, done, done, and done. So, guys, right here, we got something else. We got something good. The respawn anchor. So, respawn anchor is pretty cool. Basically, it'll let you respawn in... the nether. So, you can use it up to 4 times. This is an empty respawn anchor right here, not lit up. Once you put 1 glowstone in it, it shows like this. All the way to full, like this. Done, done, and done. You can use it 4 times. You can also fill it with a dispenser. And netherite, guys. We are not going to talk about netherite too much. It is a new ore that's found in the nether, and it gives you all the new god gear. This is going to have its own section coming up very soon, and we're going to talk about all the OP armor that you could create with it, how you find it, where you get it, and all that stuff. Last but not least, we have Blackstone. Blackstone is a new block. It is found in the bastions and in other places below lava level in the nether. Let's do this. We're going to look at it. It comes in all kinds of variants, guys. Polished walls, every type of stairs, polished stairs, cracked brick. All the different versions, including this one right here, chiseled. You can make stone buttons out of it, stone pressure plates out of it. We have gilded that sometimes drops gold as well. In addition, you can use this to make anything you make out of stone, like furnaces or stone tools. Unfortunately, they will look like regular furnaces and regular tools. We have our quick overview of the blocks. Let's go and do mobs now. And now it's that time to discuss the new mobs. Guys, there are a few new mobs. I think there's approximately 1, 2 piglins, hoglins, zoglins, and zombified piglins. So let's do this. Mobs. Piglins are aggressive civilization that live in the nether. They mostly hang around the Crimson Forest, but you might find them in the nether wastes too. They think of players as target practice and will attack on sight. However, if you dress appropriately, they will see you as a respectable figure, or tolerable at least. That is, wearing gold armor. Piglins are suspicious of strangers. If they see you opening a chest or mining a block of gold, they will assume you're stealing and treat you accordingly. Piglins love gold and get very distracted by gold items. Gold ingots are currency. Ingots are currency to piglets, and they throw ingots at them. They'll look it over and then barter various goods. Piglins sometimes get hungry and hunt hoglins for food, or they will at least try. The results vary. Piglins prefer to hunt and fight in groups, and when a fight is happening, everybody wants in. So they kind of get like aggroed, you know, kind of like a group of old-fashioned pigmen against a player. Piglins somehow end up in the overworld. They become zombified very quickly. Piglins are creeped out by soulfire, and zombified piglins, they will stay clear whenever possible. Wither skeletons are a historic enemy of the piglins and will attack on sight. Baby piglins are not as dangerous. They are passive. Hoglins are the big aggressive beasts that live in the Crimson Forest in the nether. They attack players on sight, so be careful. They can easily knock you off a ledge. They ram you and shoot you in the air. Hoglins will drop raw pork chops, but not willingly. You can breed hoglins by feeding them crimson fungi, but do so at your own risk. Hoglins get hunted by piglins sometimes, but they don't go down without a fight. Despite this, hoglins and piglins are not enemies. It's more like an ecosystem. Baby hoglins pretend that they are tough, but don't worry, they are more like angry puppies with no teeth. I don't think they could do damage. Want to keep hoglins off your back. Pro tip, hoglins hate the smell of warped fungi. So again, zombified piglins right here. That's piglins that go to the overworld. They turn to zombified piglins. Let's go here. Striders. Striders are neutral mobs that are in the nether, preferably through lava. They are not hostile. They spawn in lava and are fire immune. When they are not in lava, they freeze and shiver and move slower. You can breed striders by feeding them warp fungus. Striders can be mounted if they first get a saddle placed on them. Similar to pigs, they can be trolled by a mushroom on a stick. Baby striders follow their parents. And last but not least, zoglins are zombified hoglins, the result of bringing a hoglin into the overworld. Unlike hoglins, they can't be bred or fed. They don't care about warp fungus. Beware, these beasts are raving mad and attack about everything they see. So I don't even know what the heck that noise is. And let's jump into the mobs, guys. So the key piece de resistance on this one here, guys, is piglins. You're going to see right here, let's get a peaceful area. There's your piglins. Piglins are going to sometimes spawn in Crimson Forest, Nether Wastes, and Bastion Remnants. They're going to often have a gold sword or a crossbow in their hand, and sometimes they will have gold armor. They have 8 hearts of health. They're kind of considered neutral, but not really. Sometimes they could get aggressive. and attack the hoglins. They also attack with their skeletons. They like to barter. So let's show you the bartering. Basically, they'll give you a little love if you give them an ingot. They're going to be like, oh, dang, Skippy, what's this? I'm going to give you some stuff. So they're going to throw some stuff on the floor. Pretty straightforward things. And yeah, we got ourselves a potion of fire breathing, probably, likely. And yeah, looks good to me. Or fire resistance. And yeah, they avoid soul fire and soul fire campfires, soul torches, any blue flame they don't like. They avoid zombified piglins and zoglins. They, of course, can barter like I just shown. And yeah, that's pretty much how that one works. When they do attack and kill a hoglin, which happens on occasion, there is a fun dance that occurs. I'll scrub the internet for a visual of that. And yeah, so let's go over to our actual hoglins. Hoglins are very straightforward stuff too. You're going to see right here. They're pretty cool. Hoglins are not bad. You know, sometimes they coexist, sometimes they attack each other. It's a weird thing. They kind of get triggered. Something happens. They're going to drop raw pork chops when you do it. Baby piglins, baby hoglins will play together as well. A hoglin is a beast, guys. It has 20 hearts of health. It's technically aggressive, but it will avoid warped fungi, nether portals, and respawn anchors. And they can be bred with crimson fungi. That said, both of those two dudes right here, actually, if we just go in, the quick version is hoglins and piglins will both turn into zombified piglins or zoglins as soon as you drop them out in the overworld. You can see they shake. It doesn't take very long for them to turn. You're going to see this hoglin is going to turn into a zoglin very soon. Yeah, and this pig, they attack everything, so this guy's never even going to get the chance. He's never even going to get the chance to become a zombie. Oh, he did! Yay! And he becomes kind of like a zombie pigman, except they have an ear now. It's different. Yeah, it's a little different. Let's go back in the nether here and let's talk about the last and final mob. Striders. So this guy here, you can see basically striders spawn in Crimson Forests. Or not in all nether biomes, actually. On the lava lakes, they have 10 hearts of health. They will drop string on their death. They're generally passive. They can be ridden with a saddle, and you can lead them on the way with your warp fungus on a string. And they are damaged by water. They don't like water. So let's go ahead and sit on this guy, and you can see we are now riding him around with the fungus. Baby striders follow. You can see baby striders will always follow. And everybody wanted to say hi to Bearded Alex. Guys, Bearded Alex gets so much love whenever Bearded Alex plays in a video. And Bearded Alex is my new skin for Bedrock. So just saying, guys, yeah. And yeah, so there we go, guys. That's all the mobs. Quick, fast, efficient version. Let's jump into the next thing, which is structures. And that brings us to structures. Guys, we have two new main structures, as you can see. We have Bastion Remnants and Ruined Portals. Let's go over the changelog here and then go over it more in depth. Guys, Ruined Portals, remains of ancient nether portals can now be found in the overworld and in the nether, may contain blocks of crying obsidian. In addition, we have Bastion Remnants, what's made of blackstone, full of piglins and hoglins. Bastion Remnants at 4 separate Bastion Remnant types. Bridge, Hoglin Stable, housing units, and treasure room. You can find these sizable structures in all biomes in the nether except for the Ashley Cliffs of Basalt Delta. Explore, loot, and conquer Bastion Remnants to call it your home, but beware, piglins don't take kindly to intruders stealing their things. Added a new music disc from Lena Rain titled Pig Step. It can only be found here. It's all in the place you're going to get it. Added chain blocks. So before we jump into the Bastion Remnants Ruined Portals, you're going to find ruined portals all over the world, all over the nether, all over the overworld. I have seen tons of crazy stuff online with them in villages, in the water, huge ones, little ones, big ones, and small ones. That's super awesome. They have crying obsidian in them. That's pretty much where you're going to get it. In addition, I think you could probably get it from some of the loot chests and trading with the pigmen, but Bastion Remnants right here. This is the key to success, guys. Bastion Remnants pretty much come in those 4 structures. Again, remember, bridge, hoglin stable, housing units, and treasure room. So hoglins will appear only if you have a hoglin stable in your Bastion Remnant. So you can see, I feel like this is likely bridge. You can also see the new block chain. This is the chain. This is where the chain comes into play. It's pretty much the home of the chain, and you can see in there we have different types of stuff. You can see it's kind of already dilapidated, if that's a good word. Hey, bro, what's going on for you? And yes, we have some basalt. This is kind of meeting a weird basalt delta kind of thing, even though it says that it shouldn't. I guess it says cliffs of basalt delta, even though, yeah, I think this is actually going against the actual changelog that I just read, because I feel like this is running into a basalt delta. That said, we're going to have hoglins, we're going to have piglins. You can see there's some gold here. I remember over here we see this. Look, we have blocks of gold. So I think basically what happens is I think some of them can just be various pieces of a bastion remnant, and it kind of, you know, auto completes to create a bastion remnant, which includes all of these different forms. Easy enough bastion remnants, not bad, not all. Let's do an actual full-on explanation of netherite now. And now here we are with the netherite, guys. We are at our small netherite station. Let's do the changelog right here. Netherite, a new high-level material found in the nether. Use it to upgrade your diamond gear, guys. New OP gear, best gear in the game. Netherite effects, guys. Netherite items fall. Netherite items float in lava, and they don't lose all your gear after an unplanned lava bath. Netherite items have a higher enchantment value than diamond, but not as high as gold, so they enchant high. Netherite tools work faster and last longer, so more durability. Netherite weapons do more damage than diamond. Netherite armor has higher toughness and durability than diamond. Netherite armor gives you knockback resistance, so you barely get knockback at all when hit by arrows and such. Netherite blocks can be used as the base of a beacon, and netherite ingots can be used as fuel for the beacon. It's very expensive though, so yeah, looks cool. How to make netherite starts with ancient debris in the lowering depth of the nether at your own risk. Insurance coverage for that. Combine 4 netherite scrap and 4 gold ingots in a crafting table for now to make netherite ingots. So this is how it works. It's very simple. It's not a crafting table, actually. It's actually a smithing table. So they've changed that to a smithing table. I took this from, I don't know. Refine into a netherite scrap furnace or blast furnace. So let's start this off. Guys, crafting table was what it did when it first baited out, but now you use a smithing table. It's the actual use for a smithing table. So let's start this from the beginning. You're going to go mining for ancient debris. This is ancient debris right here. It's super rare and super hard to find. It's going to be under lava beds, under lava lakes, deep down in the nether below like Y20, super low and crazy. So once you get the ancient debris, you take your ancient debris over to your blast furnace or your regular furnace and you throw it in. Once you have your ancient debris in here, it's going to cook up, cook up, cook up. You're going to get netherite scrap. Once you get the netherite scrap, you ding-a-ling-a-ling, you take your netherite scrap and you go over to a crafting table. Once you're at the crafting table, you take your netherite scrap, you put 4 in. You can put them anywhere, I'm pretty sure. This is one thing that I just tested. So as long as there's 4, 4, and 4, as long as there's 4 ingot and 4 scrap, you get, or as long as there's 4 scrap and 4 gold ingots, you get 1 netherite ingot. Once you have a netherite ingot, guys, it's going to be super cool. You go into a smithing table and you take your diamond gear. No matter what, your max gear, as long as if it's enchanted, everything stays, guys. And you put your gear in, you take 1 netherite ingot, and now you have the netherite chestplate. Keeps all of the enchantments and ding dong ding, and you got it. Done, done, and done. Netherite stuff ready to party. Let's go over here and let's, you know what? Let's put it on me. Everybody needs to see Bearded Alex wearing netherite gear. How cool is that? That's super awesome, guys. So new OP gear and the fast version. So it has the same blast resistance as obsidian, but you can push it with a piston. So this is cool. Basically, you can make, like, you know, I guess if your wall's made out of this, it has the same, like a creeper ain't gonna blow that up. You know what I mean? In addition, you can put a beacon on it. I got rid of it because the beacon was so loud and annoying. I didn't realize how loud and annoying beacons are, but yeah, you could make a beacon with it. This would be so expensive to make, so let's get rid of that. And yeah, pretty much hit every nail on the head right there. That's the entirety of netherite stuff. The other thing is that netherite stuff floats. So as it goes down, you see what it does? I don't know if this is exactly a good representation, but yeah. It will not go down and burn away unlike other items. It's just going to float there, stay safe until you can come back and get it, I guess, assuming it doesn't despawn. And yeah, netherite, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now we're going to go into the parity changes between Java and Bedrock. And for parity, we are going to go to the overworld, guys, because it's a little less red, a little more bright. Guys, we're going to read over the parity changelog and then go over a few of the big ones that stand out. Of course, a little bit to do with iron golems is going to come a little further in the video, where we're going to talk about changes to the way that villages operate. So, parity, the Ender Dragon Fireball no longer causes excessive damage. All mobs, including the player, will no longer drown in lava. This means that a portion of the water breathing is no longer required. So a potion of water breathing is no longer required for swimming in lava. If you have fire resistance, passive mobs will now only spawn on blocks they're supposed to. Pumpkins can now be placed without needing support underneath. That's a big one. Fence gates can now be placed without needing support underneath. Enchanted skulls now have the glow effect when in hand in the inventory. Flowers can be removed from flower pots. Dropped items now turn into 3D models and spin, just like dropped blocks. So blocks did this before, like on Java, but now items do it too. Pods will be created under spruce trees when mega pine trees are created by the player. Iron bars will render the same as in Java, in hand and in the inventory. Blocks moving underneath top snow now correctly cause top snow to be destroyed. Corrected book render location on lecterns to match Java edition. Top snow can now be placed on composters and cauldrons. Gas no longer spawn on peaceful and will despawn if the difficulty is changed back. The player can now jump out of water while swimming regardless of look angle. Groundstone now removes repair penalty when removing enchantments. Color of Bad Omen is now dark green. Stained glass now displays colors on maps. Woodland Mansion Arena Room now has correct slab type floor. Players now receive conduit power effect when in the rain. Cocoa pods now break when in water. Drowns can no longer drop tridents if they were not holding a trident in the first place. Blocks will now lose their waterlogged state when pushed by a piston. That is the official breaking of Zero Tick Farms right there on the changelog. Damage bows can now be used to craft dispensers. I like that change. Very good quality of life change. Despawn rules have now changed to closely match Java despawn rules. So this is trying to help mob spawning and mob farms, guys. So listen close. Did it work? I don't think so that much. We have done testing. It's a little better. It's not like on Java. So the change allows mobs to more consistently spawn around the player and improve the frequency of mobs spawning around underground while the player is exploring caves, as well as trying to farm areas that spawn specific mobs, wither skeletons in nether fortresses. So any mob that has been set to persist, so name tags or something that lures them, tamed, bred, will never naturally despawn. Almost all naturally spawning mobs will automatically despawn when they are 54 blocks or further away from the nearest player. Fish automatically despawn at a max range of 40 blocks or further. If mobs are between 32 and 50 blocks away from the nearest player, they must not take damage for 30 seconds, as well as successfully roll a 1 in 800 chance to despawn. Added the ambient cave sounds and added update aquatic underwater music. So you be the judge. That is basically the steps that have been taken to make mob farms work better. They do work better now. It is not as good as you think. So the argument remains to be seen. Let's go over some of these quick ones here that are kind of some quick changes. Long story short, I remember this. Guys, you can now place these jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins without a block underneath it. In the olden days when we made slime farms, that was such a pain. Now you can do it. The same thing with these guys here. Fence gates used to have something underneath, and then you would break it, and now you could place it on the side, and it'll work just fine. We also have, let's get rid of this guy. So, I guess we're going to be going all day long. Let's go ahead and throw this guy here. Bang. So you can take flowers out of flower pots. Yeah, that's a thing. I guess I have it in my inventory somewhere, but flowers out of flower pots. And let's go here. Let's do this. Cocoa beans. Guys, cocoa beans. Water used to not break cocoa beans before, and now it does. It used to, it does now. Again, we're happy. Bang. I guess that doesn't matter. We're going to have to put a solid block there to make that water go away. So, last but not least, Zero Tick Farms are not working anymore. So, Zero Tick Farms, this is what broke it. Now, before you used to update the water and the water would stay in there. Now, it's over. And there you go. With that, they basically made Zero Tick Farms not work anymore, because now it doesn't update, because every time that piston moves, it's going to get rid of the water source block, which is, yeah, that's the end of that, guys. So parity, you can see items now on the ground, spin in a 3D circle. Just like blocks did once upon a time, or blocks always did, but now all the items do in the same manner. And there you go, guys. Quick adaptation, mostly mob farm changes. We're going to do iron golem changes and iron golem farm changes in the villages. So you know what? Let's go do the village changes right now. And here we are, guys, with the village changes, most of which has to do actually with iron golem farms. I'm going to do my best to explain it as best I can. And yeah, so let's go over the actual changes, guys. Players now more reliably raise their popularity within a village when trading with villagers is now correct. Curing a zombie villager now grants additional popularity, and popularity will become more neutral over time, so you lose your popularity. Guys, increased iron golem spawning rate and modified spawn rules. So they do spawn a ton faster now. That's accurate. The rules are a little bit different. At least 75% of villagers must have worked in the past day. Minimum 20 beds for every villager. Every villager has a bed, and only one golem will spawn for every 10 villagers. At the end of this, pretty much our whole showcase is discussing that. Cured zombie villagers as well as nearby villagers now offer discounted trades. Trident enchantments now offered through trading with villagers. Villagers will no longer come preoccupied with sharing carrots. That happens a lot. Zombie villagers will no longer break iron doors. Cured zombie villagers will no longer receive XP if they did not have any previously. Villagers no longer close powered iron doors. Villagers no longer run around their house during raids. The raid boss bar now reappears and returning to a raid from another dimension. So this is basically what I get from the iron golem changes. So pay attention. The next video I make is likely going to be an actual 1.6 iron golem farm, and it should be out soon. So basically, this is what I got from it is you need 20 beds to make an iron golem. I'm not sure if this village is a good example. Oh, wait, there's another village over there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So there likely is 20 beds here, but you need 20 beds. 75% of the villagers must have worked in the day, and one golem will spawn for every villager. So basically, right here is the prerequisite. Now, how many times you can multiply it is kind of a thing. So you need at least a bed, you need 20 beds no matter what, and you need at least a bed for every villager. So even with 10 villagers, you're going to need 20 beds. In addition, 7.5 of the 75% of the villagers, so if it's 10 villages, 75% is 7.5, have to have a workstation too. This is different. In Bedrock right now, this workstations are not as necessary as one would believe, and this is kind of weird. That said, when you multiply it, you could actually just put this up to 20 villagers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 20 villagers is a thing. 20 beds would then be enough for the 20 villagers because they would all have somewhere to sit. But then you would actually need to have 15. You would actually need to have 15 of them. It doesn't have to be a lectern, but it would have to be 75% of them need workstations. So, guys, pay attention. Iron Golem Farm is coming. We're going to get it going. They are a lot better than they used to be. And that's village changes. Let's jump to the next one. Gameplay changes. And here we are with simple gameplay changes. So we're going to go over the changelog. We have a few to look at. Let's do it here, guys. Gameplay. Knockback resistance is now scale instead of probability. Entities now get pushed by flowing lava. I guess that's if it doesn't burn them. That's a thing. Minecart hoppers now drop a hopper when being destroyed in a ranged attack. So I guess that means, yeah, arrows. Placing a block against an interactive block while crouched no longer opens the UI. Interacting with a minecart hopper now opens the hopper screen and no longer blocks other screens from opening. Fixed armor stand and its contents dropping as an item when broken when tile drops rule is false. Flying players are now able to return to the overworld if an end portal is on their spawn point. Enchanted bows no longer consumed when auto-crafting dispensers. Players can no longer breathe underwater when swimming under blocks with a turtle shell equipped. TNT no longer drops as an item when exploded/locate now correctly displays the nearest structure. Players no longer teleport through partial blocks when re-logging. Tools now make noise when they break. State of creative flying now remains. After accessing world settings, players no longer swim through the air after swimming in a bubble column. Coral and coral fans now drop when minced with axe or shovel, enchanted with silk touch. Magma blocks now melt top snow sitting on it, guys. Mobs killed by lingering potions now drop XP and uncommon loot when the potion came from a player. Shulker boxes can now be undyed in a cauldron. Boats can now move and don't get stuck when on top of a partial block. Boats no longer continue sliding on a bottom half slab. Fire charges now consumed when lighting campfires. Players no longer displaced into solid blocks on respawn by solid blocks, resulting in X-ray vision. Kelp no longer stops growing at too low of a height. Enchantment tables no longer display options. No attached enchant. Mobs no longer have large delay in finding their nearest attackable target, e.g. wolves attacking sheep. Enderman can now pick up some of the new nether blocks. Enderman will no longer pick up nether rack. That's a good one. That's a weird one. Squid will now spawn more frequently. Ocean cap is now 4 and river cap is now 2. Iron golems will ensure that they can catch and reach a target before choosing to attack it. Jumping animation is no longer broken for horses. Polar bears no longer chase players on its 2 back legs. Sheep no longer eat grass through partial blocks. Fixed an issue where Enderman could not attack the player when looked at. Mobs no longer start shaking when entering minecarts. Fish no longer spawn in flowing water. Oh my god. And the 2 pages I'm reading to you guys right now, that's the best one. We now have Curse of Binding and Curse of Vanishing books in the game. Next one here. Water can now be collected from bubble columns using a bucket that was broken before. Casting a fishing rod will no longer attach itself to a parrot mounted on a player's shoulder. That sounds like a comedy right there. Fully grown sweet berry bushes can now be harvested when holding bone meal. Parity, carrot on a stick, shield, and shovel can not lose durability consistently in Bedrock. Fire charges are now consumed after lighting a TNT block. Player icons no longer appear as white squares on locator maps. Potions and cauldrons can now be correctly removed. Fishing rod can now be used repeatedly while holding the interact button. So that might be something going on with AFK fish farms right there. We're going to test that one out. Spawned cave mobs aren't counted as surface mobs anymore. Shields can now be dispensed and equipped to players. Fortune enchantment now works again. Pumpkins and melons will grow when underneath observers. This is a thing that fixes a bunch of farms that broke, I think. Fixed a bug that would cause the Ender Dragon to reset after leaving and returning to the fight area. Fixed an issue with too many cats spawning in villages. Changed mob population cap to only count mobs with spawn rules. Mob despawn range is now tied to simulation range. Fixed an issue that sometimes caused villagers not to link up to job sites correctly in multiplayer worlds. Fixed an issue that could cause overlapping villages to be repeatedly created and destroyed. Parity change. Water now freezes from the edges, matching Java Edition. Fall damage protection will now work as expected from tall heights. Flying too fast with Elytra into an unloaded chunk will no longer cause your death. This happened, man. I'm telling you all the time. Fixed ravines not being positioned correctly compared to old versions. Fixed players being able to duplicate items by closing to the title while on the respawn menu. We'll see about that. Dropping items enchanted with vanishing now works correctly. Players can now only enchant 1 compass at a time using anvil in survival. Fixed an issue that sometimes caused redstone torches to get stuck on or off when reloading a world. Fixed an issue that could cause kelp to stop growing too soon. Kelp now checks the block ticking queue when attempting to add itself. Feather falling and protection enchantments now give correct player damage protection. So in that whole thing, guys, the whole one with the fishing rod, we're gonna have to test that out. That might be a little bit of an assistance with some AFK fish farms. The fish not spawning in flowing water, oh my god, my whole tutorial world, guys, is fish flopping everywhere. No can do. So let's go over here. This is a simple one here. Magma blocks. Yep. So now snow will get melted off of these guys. At some point in time, the snow will melt off of these magma blocks. It's pretty interesting, actually, believe it or not. I didn't know that was a thing. Shulker boxes are actually going to be undyed. Look, bang. They go right back to their purple form. And yeah, you undye shulker boxes. How easy and how cool is that? Of course, we have right here is, yeah, this guy here, Curse of Vanishing and Curse of Binding, 2 new cool books. How awesome is this? Let's keep going here. Let's go to this guy here. So a potion. Let's use this potion. So you can put your potion in cauldrons and you can take it out of cauldrons. This is back to normal. Yeah, back to normal. And of course this doesn't work. It does work. It just takes forever. I have to be completely honest, is that I don't know why it takes forever, but I promise you that it does work. Hopefully by the time we're done this little segment here, it will actually melt the snow. But last but not least, guys, let's do it. Bearded Alex. Hey, Bearded Alex. Hey, Bearded Alex. How's it going? Let's go over here and let's do this. I'm actually going to have to switch my point of view. And we can equip shields. So shields are now going to be able to equip with dispensers. So shields will actually dispense and equip. Hi, Bearded Alex. Oh, Bearded Alex has a shield now. And there we go. Look, right in the background, we caught it. The magma has now officially melted. The snow. Done, done, and done, guys. Yeah, we're going to jump to the next one. What's the next one? General game changes. Let's go and do that one right now. And okay, so since we are going to do various places in the world, let's do this one in the end, guys. We're doing general changes here. There's not too much to show you after the fact, but there is a couple things. We're going to do it in the end, and hopefully I'm far enough away that dragon flapping its wings doesn't get in the video. Oh, look at that. It is anyway. So, general: corrected fishing rods bobber movement. Large quantities of stow no longer suddenly generate in chunks. Made several Bedrock dedicated server documentation updates and fixes. Fixed an issue where imported world templates were not visible on Gear VR. Fixed an issue related to chunks not loading correctly in realms. Fixed skin texturing issue on Alex model, not Bearded Alex, regular Alex. Light propagation now works correctly, fixing hostile mob spawning. That said, they're saying they fixed lighting glitches which would break mob farms. Chunks should no longer fail to load properly in 250 megabyte worlds. Fixed a bug with light persisting after a block change. Ticking areas no longer can be removed on the same tick that they are created. Lighting now propagates correctly through chunks, subchunks, borders. And fixed an issue that could cause areas to show lighting errors. Fixed an area that could lighting errors on servers. Added new overload for replace item with an option for destroy the old behavior or keep. The command will return an error if an item occupies that slot. Smooth camera option from full keyboard gameplay is no longer jittery and is smooth again. The screen no longer twitches when a player dies in the nether or end. Removed quotation marks from the loading screen tips. Fixed the issue with ambient noises playing too frequently in the nether. Renamed various blocks and renamed JSON files to reflect change blocks names. The change emotes button is no longer missing on Android devices. The P in Pig Step music disc is now capitalized. That's a change from earlier in one of the betas. Adjusted hopper hitbox shape. Nether sprouts item texture no longer extends outside the bound of the item frame when rotated. Running the /kill command will now correctly kill summoned NPCs. Set the default chat font to Mojangles. Fix an issue when reloading characters wearing classic skins. Improved reliability of loading characters. Improved offline support for characters. Classic skins are now loaded before character creator skins on multiplayer servers. The error message will now appear when uploading and downloading world file size exceeds maximum. Fix an issue that could cause a failure when trying to import large worlds with limited space available on Windows 10. Fix an issue that prevented players from joining dedicated servers. Fix an issue with projectiles being destroyed prematurely if they didn't deal damage. This is now optional with the addition of 2 new flags to the projectile. Quality of life changes to the inventory screen when using a controller. Controllers now more user-friendly and closer resemble the controls when using a mouse and keyboard. You can now strafe downwards in the water while swimming by holding the sneak button. Control profile will now properly switch to water controls when getting out of a bed underwater. Last but not least, here we have updated Mojang Studios loading screen. Nether biome distribution now better matches that of Java Edition. Fix an issue on Xbox One, players having errors accessing the marketplace. Improve reliability of loading characters. Fix an instance where character can be lost when offline. Fixed an issue that prevented achievements from being unlocked offline after reconnecting. Fixed an issue of incorrect player hand animations when using fishing rod in third person. Fixed Xbox main menu from getting stuck forever after canceling sync pop-up box. Secondary players in a split screen game will now animate properly when you look at them. Suspending and resuming the game no longer makes the player's model disappear. The second player's hands in a split-screen game will no longer disappear when you look at them with the first player. Nether bricks texture has been updated. Chiseled nether brick and quartz bricks textures are updated. Crimson Trapdoor is now called Crimson Trapdoor. Again, that's a change from an earlier beta. Warped forests are now more rare compared to other nether biomes. When a player enters a warped forest, the previous track now plays until it's finished. Bedrock credits have been updated. Fixed an issue where experimental mode was not being enabled for clients when the server level has it enabled. Optimizing sound loaded low on memory is now deprecated in sound definitions.json, as all audio can now play on low memory devices. Fixed a world conversion issue that was causing some items in the chunk to convert to Bedrock incorrectly. So as you can see right here, we are basically going back, because as I was reading this, I was like, hey, that dragon is so loud. You know how far away we were and we were still hearing the dragon? There is literally only a couple changes that happened on that changelog that I could really show you physically, and it's these ones here. Quartz blocks, the update is they updated the path, like it's different now. They're way better, way cool. Quartz bricks and nether bricks. So chiseled nether bricks, cracked nether bricks, and nether bricks. All of them are different. Basically, they've been changed up. Looking good. New blocks, new nether bricks. I love it, guys. Like it, love it, love it. We're gonna go off to mob changes now. Actually, last but not least, the /kill command wasn't working on these guys. /kill. Let's do this. Let's do it. /kill. So I guess it wasn't working properly. So I guess at E, all entities, bang. So it wasn't working properly before. I just killed the Ender Dragon. How awesome is that? Feeling like a champ. And that brings us to block changes. There are a few key ones here. We're on Mushroom Island, I guess, since we're changing venues yet again. Guys, blocks. Walls do not have gaps anymore when stacked vertically. That's pretty much one of the coolest like graphical changes. Trapdoor collision now matches visual shape. Paintings can no longer be placed on top of item frames. Cactus blocks now break when next to lava. Flowers in snow now break properly and drop the correct item. Falling blocks no longer break when falling on ice blocks and glass. Falling blocks are now broken by partial blocks and placed above piston arms facing up. Mycelium no longer wrongly turns to dirt when it's not having enough light. Wall signs attached to doors no longer left floating after the bottom half of the door is broken. Walls now correctly connect to most blocks placed above them. Falling blocks now broken by partial blocks are now placed above piston arms facing up. I feel like it's the same thing. Mushroom stems now drop the correct block when mined with Silk Touch tool. Target block redstone signal duration is based on projectile type, long for trident and arrows, short for other projectiles. Redstone torches no longer get stuck on or off when reloading the world. That's a big deal, guys, that one there. Conditional setting for normal command blocks is now saved when copying structure block. Fixed an issue which allowed jack-o'-lanterns to be placed on the side of blocks, breaking some marketplace content. Mushroom stems no longer drop down brown mushrooms blocks when silk touched. Iron bars and glass panes now connect correctly to walls. Hi-Fi blocks can now be crafted into their respective planks. Moving blocks now have the correct collision block. Okay, so guys, pretty straightforward stuff. Let's go over here. The walls, big deal. They used to look ugly. They used to have a line in them. There used to be a wall, and when you put a wall on top, it would be like, yeah, there would be a gap right there. Horrible, ugly, all gone now. Works better. In addition, more blocks leave gapless. So you can see right here, panes connect right up. Iron bars connect right up. No matter what you do, it'll be a nice tight fit. No gaps in between. In addition, the wall will reach up for certain items, just like a torch right here. See how it changes up, even as much as like say a gate. You'll watch, it makes it go up for whatever item it is. Very cool kind of tricky feature. Yeah, I like it. Lava is gonna bust out these guys here, so you'll notice it's gonna go through it, but it will break the cactus as soon as it touches that extra block. So that's a new thing with lava. Collision box on trapdoors is now actually the size of the trapdoor. You can see the black line that highlights. It's actually the same. Before it would be the whole square, but now it's just the size of the trapdoor. So the length of the signal, you're going to see, bang, the signal is pretty long with regards to that guy right here. But if you do this, it's faster. And that's it, guys. Look at that. A nice remnants of a portal there with a gold block. And now here we are back in the nether. We're going to do the graphical changes here with a few showcases afterwards. Guys, graphical fire on half slabs is now visible. Change the Eye of Ender explode particles to match Java. Fixed rendering issues for sign text through other transparent objects such as glass. Fixed maps in item frames flashing purple and black images before they map loads. Animation scale now uses linear interpolation between keyframes. Experience orbs now have been data driven. Fireballs now have been data driven. NPC geometry and animations have been data driven. Items no longer flash green when being removed from a furnace. Fix a bug where glass and water could be drawn incorrectly when close to each other. Fix the custom glit texture issue when added to the compass. The fancy leave option now appears correctly in the settings on Windows 10. Fix an issue where cube maps were not fully updating when resource packs were changed. Fix a bug that could sometimes cause fonts to disappear after quitting to the main menu. Fix an issue with flickering usernames above players' heads. Fix an issue where chunks would flicker after altering render distance values. Fix an issue where the missing textures would constantly being converted, which would cause the game to spam warnings in the log message. Fix an issue where chunks would auto flicker after render distance values. Fix an issue that caused maps to become invisible. Paintings now render correctly. Beacon beams now render correctly. The flame animation now shows correctly on burning mobs and flame arrows. Fixed an issue that stopped animated textures working correctly. Fixed an issue that prevented firework particles from appearing correctly. Tooltip backgrounds and the controller cursor now renders correctly. Fixed low light emitting blocks not matching the place blocks brightness. Fixed mobs in mob spawners not being visible. Fixed maps in item frames no longer having lines through them. Fixed maps missing textures after reloading the world. Fix an issue where lighting wasn't refreshed when going through portals back into the overworld. Fix an excessive hand bob motion caused when playing an animation on the hand and camera together. Items being held by mobs now should render correctly. Lodestone compass now renders properly in the inventory. Textures now load correctly when descending from high altitude. Fixed rendering issues while riding a mount. So a few of those actually stick out pretty easy. You can see basically the rendering of that zombie in the spawner is a thing. It basically either not rendering at all, and even now, the distance in which you see it wasn't in there at all before, I think. So now that we're closer, you could see it. Another quick one here is the lodestone compass. You can see the lodestone compass is actually working well in my inventory. So I think before, at some point in time when they first integrated it, it wasn't working good. It was like in my hand it would work, but in the inventory it would not work. Again, fire on half slabs, it's a thing. It was broken and now it works good. Paintings were having an issue rendering. They're working perfect now. Again, I feel like that's going to go with your simulation distance, but they do disappear pretty quickly. This is actually right there. Right about there is when paintings appear and reappear. So, yeah, let's do this. Let's just jump off to scripting and commands. Not sure there's going to be much to show there, but we'll go over them together and end this off. And there you have it, guys. We have gone over almost the entire Nether update. OMG. For this one here, I'm going to put the scripting and the command changes on the screen right now. If you want to take a look at them and read them or whatever it is, you could go ahead, just pause it here and read the changes. Of course, guys, there are several things that kind of, I kind of picked the big stuff for this one. It was just too big of a change log to do. And I kind of have a new format on this where I'm going in and explaining each one by one. So I encourage you to use the link in the description if you want to read every single page without skipping any lines. There are additionally some changes to the way that servers function, giving you the option to kick and things like that with realms. That's going to be an exciting kind of tweak. I encourage you as well to check that out. So moving forward, probably we'll go back to the old ways of making my update videos. Unless you guys really like this, let me know if you like this way better, where I do each thing one by one, or I read the whole changelog and go back and forth. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the Nether update. Tons of videos coming over the next coming days. Lots of new farms, new mechanics, and new things like that. Smash the like before you go, and I'll catch you on the next one.